The number one purpose of our brain is to determine our safety. Now, why is that important? Well, if your brain decides you're not safe, which is not a logical decision, it's based on input that comes into the brain. If your brain determines you're not safe, you start to lose mobility, and you start to increase pain, and you age rapidly. You begin to shuffle like an old person, and everything in your body hurts, and then that could lead to all kinds of surgeries and joint replacements, none of which were the problem. So you think it's important to understand this process? Absolutely, because there is something happening to so many people at so many ages, and it's become rampant. Now, 25 years ago, 28 years ago, when I moved into this field of working with clients with their health, working with food and supplements, I had no clue that the eyes are one of the most important contributors to this process. Approximately 80% of the data that determines your sense of safety comes from your eyes. The other 20% from your vestibular, which is your sense of balance, and proprioceptor, which is knowing where you are in space, and that information comes from your feet, your hands, other parts of your body. But we're going to focus on your eyes, because here at Lifestyle for Health, we like to be eye advocates to help you discover what you can do to support your eyes. So let's talk about this one big problem that's showing up in so many clients. In fact, what's happening as a practitioner, and people come to me with a host of problems, tens of thousands over all the years. And what I found is that some people just didn't respond to food changes. They didn't respond to supplement changes. They didn't respond to structural work. They didn't really respond to working through emotions. And it was like, what in the world is the problem? And pretty much down to all of those people, I'm finding that the common denominator was something called monovision. They may have had the surgery, they may have it in contacts, and they may have it in glasses. So in essence, what monovision is one eye is corrected for short vision and one for long distance vision. So now the eyes are bringing in different information, and the brain is going, do I trust this eye or this eye? This eye or this eye? And since it causes confusion, confusion tells the brain unsafe. What happens when our brain perceives, not our logic, but back here with our brainstem, when the brainstem perceives unsafe, our mobility decreases, which includes our flexibility, and it also causes pain to increase. So chronic pain and poor mobility almost always have an issue with the eyes and how the brain is interpreting the information. You see, vision isn't based on just our eyes. Our eyes are just the camera. It's just recording the data. It's the brain that interprets that data to give you vision. So just a little side note, you can actually restore vision by working with your brain. Forrest and I are finding that our vision is getting significantly better in our 60s, which is usually the opposite happening with most baby boomers. So I just want you to know it's possible. We're experiencing it, and we're after just getting out of glasses entirely. Because you know what? These are just cages that restrict your eyes. Now, let's go back to this monovision. Sometimes it's not just monovision. Now, sometimes it's done with bifocals or trifocals. So let's say that you've got glasses that are monovision, trifocal. So the brain's now got 6 inputs to try and figure out. You think that causes confusion? Well, we had that happen to a friend of ours who has this in contacts and was driving up a really tall, high mountain, and it was like, got to where he couldn't push the pedal down to drive. He just was having all kinds of reactions. Well, what do you think was causing it? Was it the car? No. Was it his eyes? Not really. It was the brain going, I have no clue how to handle that. Plus, elevation is changing. In order to keep you safe, I'm going to refuse to let you go any further. That's what happens when the brain is confused. And it may not be that you're in a car. It could just be walking. I had another client who was struggling with insomnia. She was struggling with weight. She just had a whole host of health issues, and we'd done so many things. but nothing really changed with the weight until she went from monovision surgery and contacts. She found an optometrist who would think outside the box. They gave her contacts that allowed her eyes to be here. She didn't even need readers. And she said as soon as she put these in, it was like her whole world became clear. And the change in taking pictures of her eyes before and after and her face, night and day. Just night and day. Her daughter was amazed that she could walk on uneven surfaces and didn't have to grab her because she was stable. All by going from here to putting it together. Powerful changes. So if you have monovision, whether you've had the surgery, whether you've had contacts, either single or bifocal or trifocal or glasses, just know that that's playing havoc with your brain. It's aging you, it is reducing your mobility, and it's increasing your pain. It's also restricting your ability to access peripheral vision. So if you have that problem, it's up to you, but if it were me, I'd certainly want to change the outcome and how fast that's aging your body. So you can always give us a call at Lifestyle for Health, 719-488-5688, and find out how you can have an eye advocate help you. But I want to move on to some other things that you can do to support eyes and vision in general. Because the eyes, in addition to giving so much input to the brain, they're the big reservoir for vitamin C. And what does vitamin C support? Well, when you lack it, it contributes to allergies. It can contribute to bruising. It can impact bleeding gums. There's a lot of things that vitamin C is very important for. But it gets used up when? Of course, when you're under stress. You use up your C, you use up your B, you use up your minerals. And when you're low in C, you tend to have more allergies and you tend to have dark circles under your eyes. So what can you do? Well, a good whole food vitamin C is super, super, super good. Now, most vitamin C's on the market filled with ascorbic acid. Well, that really is not the same as whole food. Your brain is so smart, it knows the difference between counterfeit and real. In fact, when it comes to calcium, when you go take things like Tums, well, that's like the calcium found in concrete. Don't you think your body is smart enough to know that concrete and whole food calcium are different? Well, our brains are very, very, very smart. So you want a whole food C, 1 or 2 a day. If you're interested, go out to our website, CherylTownsley.com, and you can order that. So vitamin C, that's easy. The second thing I want to talk about is when the eyes get tired. I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can do. One, it's a simple one that I use on a regular basis. It's a Bach flower remedy called Hornbeam. Hornbeam. You can get it from us, you can get it online, any health food store. Hornbeam is especially good when you're tired in the morning due to eye fatigue. Now, I happen to be a morning person, so I usually am ready to get up and raring to go in the morning, unlike some other people in our household. But that's just me. So if I notice that I'm waking up really sluggish and tired several mornings in a row, usually after 2 or 3, I pull out my Hornbeam. I take it regularly, maybe up to every hour for a day or 2. And what I notice is I'm back to having energy in the morning, and almost always that fatigue has come after using the computer a lot. So that's a lot of eye strain. That was the cause of why I was tired in the morning. Now, when I take Hornbeam, actually a lot of the time, I also take our EU Stress, because that just helps. It's like a battery charger for the brain, because this is where your battery is for the brain, which we talk about in many of our programs. And the EU Stress is like my battery gets charged and everything in me goes, I'm back to normal. So a couple of little resources. The other thing that can contribute to eye fatigue is sitting at computers, which also cause you to have much more of the tunnel vision, the central vision, and you lose access to your peripheral vision, which is really important. That's really what allows your brain to know if you're safe when you're out in the environment. So a couple of things that you can do for eye fatigue. One is yellow glasses. They're easy to find online or Amazon. This one comes from colorglasses.com. They're about $15. Comes in two different styles. This is if you wear contacts or no glasses, and this one would be if you want to wear it over glasses. So when I'm doing a major computer day, a lot of administration, I tend to wear these because it reduces the blue light coming off of the screen. It's also very helpful for many people to wear at night if you don't do well with night vision or driving and all of a sudden there's too many lights and your brain doesn't feel safe. That's why you don't like it. So it's a very inexpensive little investment, and you can discover if that works for you. Now, the other thing, when I do a lot of screen work or a lot of reading, a lot of research, and my eyes are tired, I love this little activity. It's called palming your eyes. So the first thing is to close your eyes, put your hands over it to block out all light, make sure your palm doesn't touch your eyeball, so it's just relaxing. And I do it until I can feel my breath relax, my pulse relax, and I can just tell my whole body is relaxed. Now, if you can't tell that, that means probably you don't have good body awareness. Be good to develop. So you want to do that, and then when you feel like you've relaxed, probably will be more than 2 seconds. Some of you, that will be a strain right there. You're going to take away your hands, but keep your eyes closed. When you first pull away the palms, you'll have like a red-orange little light. And what I do is I wait until that goes away before I open my eyes. When I first started palming my eyes, it felt like that red-orange lasted forever. It was probably only 5 to 10 seconds. And now it's almost instantly gone, which means that I've been doing a pretty good job of keeping my nervous system calm. So these are some simple things to do, but I also want to give you something that you can do for your peripheral vision. You see, peripheral vision kind of gets lost in your brain. What you don't use, you lose. So if you're not activating peripheral vision because you're staring at a screen most of the day, your brain kind of turns this off. And yet it's of huge value in that sense of safety that the brain is looking for. So here's a couple of things you can do. One of the things I play with is bunny ears. If I can't see the bunny ears until they're out here, or you wouldn't want to drive with me. And we've seen that with even teenagers, that they couldn't see bunny ears till they were almost out here. You really should be able to see those bunny ears clear back here. And in fact, you can develop your peripheral vision that if you're looking here, you could read a newspaper over here. That's what special forces guys can do. In fact, we met a guy at a seminar, and I wouldn't want to mess with this guy because he was amazing. And he taught his operatives how to look you straight in the eye and be able to read a newspaper completely over here. And because he was an operative, not only could he do that and read a newspaper, he could shoot a gun with total accuracy. So I'm not talking about guns, that's not the point. It's the accuracy of being able to access that peripheral vision. The other way you can develop it is when you're walking, say down a sidewalk, see if you can notice the cars that drive by. What color are they? What shape are they? Be able to notice trees over here. That develops your peripheral vision, which you really can't do at a computer. So that also is helpful. Now, why would you want to do this? Because the number one reason is that most of us don't want to age poorly. In fact, most of us want to slow down or reverse the aging process. And one of the easiest ways we can do that is to support our eyes, because that changes how safe your brain feels. Because when your brain doesn't feel like it's safe, here goes your mobility and here goes your pain. And all of the pain relievers won't address the pain that comes from a brain thinking you're unsafe. So why does the brain do that? Because the number one job, remember, of your brain is to keep you safe, to keep you alive. And if the brain feels like you're in threat zone, it's going to reduce your mobility, increase your pain so that you do less so it can keep you alive. But is that really how you want to live the rest of your life? Like this? I see it in a lot of people that are aging. They don't have mobility, they can't go up and down stairs, they can't get up and down off the floor, they don't feel good after they walk, they have pain, 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 and they never once thought about their eyes. So, you've got tips in here, you have many of our programs to access, you have an eye advocate and lifestyle for health, because your eyes matter. Take the next step. Do what's easy, keep adding to it, and before you know it, pain's going to do this, mobility is going to do this, and you're going to feel so much better. That's the secret to letting your age number increase, but your brain feeling as young as a child.